Hello and welcome to the Inquiring Cat does recruitment. Today I'm going to talk about a specific little area around what you should be talking about or how you present yourself at interview, and that is DEI. And this film is particularly targeted at student members of my audience because this is a hot potato subject and is very much been in the news just recently. You will have found it hard to avoid Donald Trump's arrival in the White House and his instant cancelling of all DEI initiatives across all federal agencies and the military, which I think is based partly on just a political stunt to appeal to his base and perhaps because he doesn't understand what good DEI looks like. But to be clear, I'm not a fan of bad DEI. So just to talk about DEI, I was prompted to really make this film when I was recently doing some mock job interviews with students. And I had a black student come to me for a mock interview with a company that they had nominated as one that they would want to work for. And after welcoming them as if I was the recruiter into the room, and asked them how they were, I said, why would you be a great candidate for this company and for this role? And this student immediately told me that, well, you as an organization have very strong DEI policies and I'm totally into that and blah, 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 blah. So I have to say, I like to talk a lot, as you know, but I was speechless and somewhat discombobulated and thrown by this opening gambit. Anyway, the student was about 16 years old and I wasn't going to get stuck into too much difficulty with them and make them feel uncomfortable. My purpose was to try and give them some reassurance, and we just bowled on into the general interview. But it did make me stop and think afterwards about whether or not student applicants to companies really understand where the priorities lie. Because even companies that are doing good DEI, you have to understand that this is not their number one priority. Their number one priority is what they're about, whether they're a charity or a business. That is their main focus. And cultural issues, whilst important, are a sideshow. So when you go for an interview, you need to be tackling the company's objectives in the job description, the things that they want you to be able to address, what you can contribute to in the task, so that you are hired on merit for that. If they have particular policies around any cultural issue, not just DEI, that appeal to you, when you're asked the question, why would you want to work for us, you can list that amongst the things that you want to talk about, but certainly don't make it number one. And the other thing is to make sure that you are completely up to date with what the organization's current approach is to this and many other issues. Because as you may have noticed in America, no sooner had Mr. Trump decided to exercise his powers across DEI at a federal level, there were a great number of large organizations that immediately dropped their DEI or amended their DEI initiatives, you might say out of political expediency. But it does question whether or not they were really ever committed to them in the first place, or had they been a box-ticking exercise. But companies ranging from Meta to Amazon and many others as well, John Deere and so on, all seem to chuck their DEI overboard. If you go to interview and you start going on and on about how marvelous it is that they have a great DEI policy and that's all being canned, it shows that you haven't done your research and it will not help your application. So in regards to DEI or any other issue, it's really important that you check what their current HR policies are or the general approach to the company to all sorts of things, so that your answers can be aligned and match with what they would be currently looking for. Well, thanks for watching. If you like what you hear, please remember to like and subscribe for more hot tips to make you a knockout applicant, a knockout candidate, and ultimately, we hope, a knockout employee. And we'll see you again in another episode soon. Bye-bye for now.